Welcome to Wishpath Yoga. My name is Meredith. We can think of everything as an expression of cause and effect. So my current experiences are the effects of choices that I've made in the past. When we choose to do a yoga practice, we know we get really nice energy developing, and it creates beneficial effects in our bodies and our minds. So by setting a wish path or intention for our practice, we can channel the energy of our practice toward beneficial effects that we're hoping to experience. They might be something immediate or more long-term goals or needs that we have for ourselves. So before we start to move, let's take a minute and set an intention. It can be for ourselves, it can also be for others, whatever feels meaningful today. So just close your eyes and think about what you're currently experiencing without any sense of judgment or right or wrong. And then considering, how is it that I would like to feel? So through the effort of engaging in my yoga practice today, may this wish be fulfilled. Good. Okay, so let's get ready to move. You can grab any blankets that you need for maybe kneeling on, any other props that you like to have, and we'll set up in mountain pose to begin. Good. So bringing your feet a comfortable distance apart, and we're going to start with some standing cat-cow. So if you want to soften your hips and rest your palms on your legs, you can bring your heart forward and then round your back toward the sky, letting your chin drop in toward your throat. So as you move between these two shapes, you can breathe in and out when it feels good to do so. And you can move at your own pace. And then using your next cat stretch, roll up to standing. Take a nice deep breath in, spin your palms to the sides and lift your heart. And then let the backs of your hands come toward each other, chin in toward your throat. So as you move between those two shapes, try to really change shape in your spine as well by lifting your sternum and then rounding your upper back. Good, and letting your hands meet above you. Exhale, bring your elbows onto your legs. So in these first early forward bends, please bend your knees. Let your heavy head drop and relax your neck. And then with your prayer hands together, as you exhale, swim back up to standing. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, making your dive as deep as you want. Good, try two more, and as you come to standing, really press into your heels, use your legs nice and strong. Good, and then separating your hands, come slowly into Utkatasana or chair. Keep some weight back into your heels, and then we'll bring the one hand across the opposite leg and let this arm move like a pendulum toward the sky. Good, reverse that track, come back to your chair, and go the other side. Try one more time each way. So again, from the front, opposite hand to knee, one arm moves like a pendulum. Knees lined up and not falling in. And trade that track, come forward and head the other side. Good. Back to the front and back to straight legs, hands into your heart. Okay, so what we're going to try now is taking the feet a little bit wider apart. So if you're on a yoga mat, you can either stand sideways or straddle the mat between your feet. Let your left foot open 90 degrees, and we'll line up the heels and let this knee bend just until it's over its heel, and try to track your kneecap toward those middle toes. Let your arms come up for warrior two. Nice long straight fingers, resting your drishti gaze on the middle finger of that hand over your bent knee. Try to keep some weight in the outside edge of your straight leg foot. Good, and then bring this back hand to touch the palm and open. Try that one more time. Good. And then tipping the thumbs toward the sky, bring that left arm down inside the leg. Top hand comes to the bottom. Come up through all of your joints, gradually straightening your fingers at the end. Coming down and opening. Good, one more time down. Back to the top. And coming back to warrior two. Let your hands come to center. Trade the pattern of your feet. So right knee bending. And then left arm swinging down and under to meet the palms. And opening. Good, and turn your thumbs to point up, tipping down the bottom hand toward the floor without touching. And top hand to bottom. And reopening. Good, coming back in tall position and bring the hands together, all toes facing forward. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring your left elbow over your right into an open position or arms meeting or palms touching. Inhale, let your elbows lift tall. Exhale, bow with really bent legs toward the ground. If you can rest your forearms down, fine. Breathing into your upper back and shoulders. And then elbows to heart, exhale, roll up. And then separate your hands, slide up until your wrists are touching, turn your palms to touch, and lean to one side. Let the bottom hand press into the top one. Good. Head over to the other side. Good, and then from center, just trade the cross of your arms. And exhale forward, really bending your knees. Keep some weight back in your heels, head dropping. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, push the floor away with your feet and rise. Opening, sliding to wrists meet, palms meet, lean to your left. And over to the other side. Good, back to tall. Exhale, hands to heart. And we'll reopen the left leg. Good. And then we'll come to side angle pose. So as you come down, you can lean on your hand or elbow. Just try not to hang in your hip. So keep pressing into that heel and let the other arm come alongside your ear. If you want to go lower, hand to the floor, you can, but keep trying to really use your legs. And let that top arm come to your lower back, palm out. If you can grab the other thigh, fine. Turn to look up. And then turn to look down and to the left. Good. Relax your neck to neutral. We'll send that arm into one full circle. Coming back to standing. Breath in. Exhale, come to center and trade sides. So as you come over for your side angle, just check in that you can still get a little hand in there. You don't want to sort of collapse your hip. So press into your heel, really use your leg muscles. And let that experience sort of dictate how far down you go. And then let your top hand rest on your lower back, palm out. If you can reach further around, fine, but don't strain. As you turn to look up, keep your chin a little low and looking down and behind you. Good, bring your neck back to neutral and let your top arm do one full front crawl swim. Exhale, come back to standing and back to center. Take a breath in and exhale, interlace your fingers behind. So if you always do the same pattern, try to switch it up. So the opposite pinky's on the outside. As you come forward, start with your knees bent, arms on your back, and really press into your heels. If you want, lift your arms off your back. You can take your legs straighter, but keep grounding through your feet, outer edges holding some weight. And then exhale, bring your hands to the floor and walk your hands forward into a wide leg downward dog position. Bring your thumbs a little closer together. And if it feels okay, reach your opposite hand for the outer leg. Wherever you can grab is fine. And trade. And from center, walk your hands back towards your feet, bending your knees as you get closer. Exhale, come to standing, breath in, and then turning the left foot open again, softening your knee. Good, and we're gonna come around for lunge. So allow your back toe to tuck under. And then let your left arm lift up toward the sky. Swim it back, crawl to the floor. Good, take it a little forward and then bring it down inside your bent knee. Let your back heel drop. And then either leaving this hip level with your knee, you can bring these toes up. Or if this knee is good, you can keep your heel down, take your hips down a little bit lower. And just get a little bit of stretch there. The experience will change if your toe is pointed or if it's up. So you can experiment with that a little bit. Okay, we'll turn back to our lunge. So back toe retucks. Watch the bent knee is over top of its heel. Good, and letting your back knee bend, walk into your fingers. Now try to create a tripod between your standing foot and your hands, and you have some weight in this heel. So we're going to bend the knees and bow, and then press into your tripod and kick that leg back. Bend and bow. Don't worry if your foot is really close to the ground on that kick. Try one more. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart for warrior 3. Good. Bend your standing knee, reach your left hand down, and turn your body open to the side for hanging moon. So this foot can be low, this knee can be bent. Okay. Treat the hand on the floor like a foot. So lean into it a little bit. If you want, you can grab your ankle and stretch your thigh. Good. And then as you exhale, bring that foot back down. And we'll come back to warrior 2. Hands cross at center. And then trade. So finding your warrior 2. Easing into that knee really gently. Good. And we'll come down for a lunge. Back toe tucks under. Front knee right over its heel. And then if it feels okay, let your right arm lift out to the side or to the sky. Take a back crawl, swim. Let that arm reach a little ahead, and then bring it inside the bent knee as well. So we'll drop that back heel. Now you can stay here, sort of with the hip level with the knee. You can bring the toes up. Some of you will be able to bring your hips down. So the heel's down, the knee's good. So just checking there. Make sure everything is comfortable. And again, you can experiment with the position of that ankle. And then we'll turn back to our lunge. So as you roll around, just check your knee feels comfortable. And then we're going to go into our hands. So if you bend your back knee, you've got a little bit of a spring there to walk into your hands. So this back toes can be low for a minute. Set up a tripod, just some weight in this heel, and then bend both knees and bow. Push into the tripod, all three parts, and kick out your lifted leg. Breathing in, and then out. Try one more. And then from that lower place for a minute, lift your left hand to your hip and start to open your belly to the side. So again, this foot might be really low for Ardha Chandrasana. If you can bring it higher, go for it. Play with the bend in this knee. If you need a little more bend, take it. You want to stretch your thigh, you can grab your ankle. Good, and then letting go. Exhale to get your left foot back down. And then opening for warrior two again. Bring your hands into your heart. Good. And then we're going to pivot out the feet about 45 degrees. As you bend your knees, make sure that they're comfortable and press out through your palms. Draw back to center. Breathing in and out. Two more if that feels okay. You can also trade the breathing, so the exhale as you gather or exhale as you press out. Good. And then letting your fingers interlace, press down your hands into a stretch. Bring your arms alongside your ears. Soften back into your knees. Lean to your left side or your right. Come around. Up and over. And then change. Good. Release out. Feet back to center. Turning back to warrior two. Take it to the floor. Good. Now we're going to step the foot that we're looking at into the space behind and lift. If this is too much, you can have your right knee on the ground. Good. And then take that floating foot outside the opposite hand and keep your belly spinning toward the floor. And then we're going to drop the back heel, let this arm lift up, and then bring it alongside the ear. Back up toward the sky, and then as you tuck your back toe under, turn your belly back to the floor, swim that arm across, and we'll move between those two positions. So back heel is dropping, and then swimming under. Now, let your hand come back down, and we're going to take this knee to its wrist for pigeon. So as you come down onto the back knee, release your toe, and you can stay here, or you can come down to your elbows, but keep gently pressing down through all the parts of you that are on the floor. And then if you want, you can moonwalk your body in the direction those front toes are pointing. Good. Square yourself forward again, and we'll fall onto the pigeon hip. Bring that back foot around, plant both sit bones on the ground. So if it's helpful to have a little pillow or a blanket to sit on, you can. And then walking your right hand behind you, turn. Try not to pull with this arm. Good, and we'll do a little counter twist the other way. And as you turn out of that twist, take the ball of your right foot into your hand. So staying super tall in your body. If you want, you can lift that heel wherever you can get it without collapsing. So let your sit bones holding weight and your tall feeling in your spine dictate how high you lift that heel. Good. And then resting your foot down. Let your knees stack. We'll spin back around to hands and knees. And back to downward dog. Good. We lift that left leg one more time. Bring your foot between your hands and dropping your back heel, come out to warrior two. And then we'll draw in at center and try all that on the other side. So right knee bending, arms floating. Good. We'll come down for our lunge, back toe tucking under. And then as you're ready, step to downward dog. And you can lift that right leg no higher than your hip. Root your standing heel toward the ground. And then bring your floaty foot outside the opposite hand. And then when you're ready, drop your back heel and lift the left arm up. Bring it alongside the ear for a moment, palm down. Nice long reachy fingers. And then we'll float. So we're going to take this top hand, reach it under and across. So back toe is tucked under now. And then the heel drops and we lift. And if you like, try one more. And then with your hand down, bring your right knee in line with its wrist for pigeon on this side, okay? So you can keep that back knee really close. Pay attention to the pigeon knee. It should feel clear of any uncomfortable sensation. And then you can come down. Keep a little buoyancy by pressing into everything that's on the floor so you're not just collapsing into that hip. If you want to moonwalk toward the turned out toes, you can. Good. And then coming out of that, we'll fall onto the pigeon hip and step the back leg around. So both sitting bones on the ground, nice neutral spine. Left hand can walk behind you, turning toward it. I like to look a little left and up here, just to stretch the eye muscles. The knee close to the ground, try to let it relax down. Good, gentle counter twist the other way. And then if it feels okay, grab the ball of the foot. You can use a strap too, if you like. And the heel can just hover off the ground in the beginning. If you can come up higher without changing shape too much in your spine, go for it. Usually one side's a little different range of motion than the other. Good. And then resting the foot back down, bring the knees toward each other, and we'll come back around to hands and knees. Okay, we'll just take a couple cat-cows here between sides. Good, and then from neutral, come to downward dog. Let your right heel lift. And exhale, bring your foot between your hands, resting on the back heel. Come back to warrior two. Good, back to center with your hands. Good, take one more breath in. And exhale, fold. Fingertips and toe tips line up. Bowing over, If you want to stretch your arms back through your legs, so you're reaching into the space behind you, go for it. And then lowering your hips down. Exhale, come to standing. And hands to heart. Good, let your feet come back together and we'll bring ourselves down onto the floor. So what we'll try is a wide leg sitting position. So it's really helpful not to start back sort of on your tailbone here. So if just the way you're all hinged up at your pelvis, it will help you to use a blanket or a pillow just to help tip up off your tailbone. Start with that there in place. And you can also start with your knees bent. Toes can be up or down. What we're looking for is maybe a little bit of sensation in the inner leg. So if you have it here, rejoice and breathe. Okay, just relax your mind around the sensation. Some of you will need to go a little straighter with the legs to feel some sensation. Again, it'll change if the toes are down or up, so you can play with that variation. If you're coming forward, just sort of go to where you feel something. So you can come as far down as you need to go to feel something. And pressing into your heels. You can be still in your pose, you can sway side to side, you can explore moving over to one side and then the other. You can do some cat-cows. That feels nice. And then as you come back to tall, take your right hand to the floor in a strong position and a little bit push the floor away to help root down through this hip. And you can lean over to the side, a little or a lot. This hand can stay low or come to your shoulder. Some of you will bring the arm alongside the ear. And then we'll see how it feels on the other side. So again, just kind of discern how each side is different and respond accordingly. Just kind of go into the edge of sensation, as they say. We don't ever want to feel anything painful. But if there is an obvious point of sensation, so in my body it's along this side here, just sort of imagine a ripple effect from the transformation that's changing at that point. Moving through the rest of your body. Everything's interconnected. And then we'll come back to tall. As you exhale, let your legs come back in toward each other. And then you can come to a lying down position on your back. And when you get down, just start for a minute with your knees bent, neutral pelvis. And then allows you to bring your right knee in. If it feels okay in your back, take your left leg long. And then exhale and change. And at your own pace, just kind of trade sides. And then we'll pause with the initial leg drawn in again. If you want, you can hold the back of your leg and let it journey a little straighter. You can take your peace fingers of your same hand and hook that big toe. Don't feel shy if your knee's bent. If you need to, keep the other knee bent, foot on the ground. And keeping the left hip rooted, if you want, let this leg fall open And bringing it back to tall. Bend your knee. And we'll trade again and hold. So you can stay here. You can let the leg, excuse me, go a little straighter. Or you can hook with the first two fingers. Watch the position of your pelvis too. If you're really letting your low back cram into the floor, it might bring the leg closer, but if you keep your pelvis neutral, sort of emphasize a little bit more experience, in my body anyway, in the leg, rather than changing shape in the spine too much. And then letting the leg fall out to the side. And then back up. Let your knee hug in. Let the other knee come in too. And we'll open the arms like a letter T from the shoulders. And just a really gentle movement, keeping the feet together, the knees together. As your knees drop one way, turn your head a little bit the opposite direction. And then through center over to the other side. So as you go side to side, commit to keeping your shoulder blades on the ground. So if they're lifting, don't drop your knee quite so far. Good. And then from center, giving your legs one more hug. And then we'll set down for Shavasana, so you can keep your knees bent, feet a little wider. Or you can go straight legs along the ground. And arms resting out to the sides or palms on your body somewhere. So as you relax in your Shavasana, really tune into the feeling of your body being held and supported. So allow your full weight to drop down into that feeling of support. Using your senses, notice where you're in contact with support. Backs of your heels, bottoms of your feet, where your legs are touching, where your hips are touching. Part of your torso is on the ground. Feel the back of your head and your backs of your arms or hands. And just let everything drop into a deep feeling of stillness. And as you gather into stillness, if you can, close your eyes. And as we do this, because our attention isn't externally focused, we start to notice our current energetic holding pattern. What effects are manifesting right now? What physical sensations? What stories and feelings, and how they're all sort of interrelated. So if we can, practicing objectivity in relation to what we notice, so we feel less reactive. We check in like this every day, we notice how things are always in a state of flux. Everything is always changing based on causes and effects. So within stillness and objectivity, we can start to really correlate a conscious awareness of what causes, what choices do I make that generate comfortable effects, happy effects, beneficial effects, and then decide to do more of those. And then conversely, anything we notice generates sort of a yucky, almost hangover feeling of uncomfortable sensations in our bodies, in our minds. We can start to do less of those. But practicing the objectivity is really key. Often we notice a sensation and we immediately react. But we can start to learn to watch how different sensations rise and fall. Feelings come and feelings go. Perspectives shift and change. So with that in mind, see if it feels meaningful to generate a wish or intention to just kind of slow down enough during the rest of your day to just to kind of watch. Watch how you're thinking and what feelings are arising. Watch what you eat and how your body feels. Watch how you feel after you listen to a certain song, how the lyrics affect you, or images that you see in the media. How does it actually affect me? And if we can answer that we feel really great as a result of those experiences, then we can decide to do more. So just if you feel you can, hold the desire. I really want to pay attention. I really want to pay closer attention. So that I can consciously choose how I spend my time. To what mental and physical activities do I want to offer energy and attention? So that I can accumulate as many beneficial causes as possible, knowing that there's often kind of an immediate experience in relation to those choices, but also they ripple out and there are more long-term beneficial effects for both myself and others. So you're welcome to stay with this sort of contemplation for as long as you like. Rest on your side when you're ready to come up to sitting, so the transition is gentle. And thank you so much for sharing your yoga practice with me today. Namaste.